This shit is fucking. I'm so fucking pissed off right now, dog. Braylon. Hell no. It's Braylon, Hector, Wise, Spitz. Me, you, Hector, Wise. You add 2 and 3 yourself, goddamn. Let's get this shit started, man. Fucking hey. What's the motherfucking deal, y'all? This yeah, like this it's just whatever. I'm fucking pissed off. The fucking shit all fucked up. Comcast got my shit fucked up. Can't watch the goddamn game. So I'm mad. Like I'm pissed off right now. So whatever. Like all my excitement for the start of this season has definitely waned. Let's get this shit. Like I ain't even got the all this shit. Motherfucker got booted up. Started. Let's get the fucking intro going. I'm pissed off. I really don't even give a fuck right now. What's the motherfucking deal? Welcome to South Sports. South Sports, if you're not familiar, is a Houston, Texas homer network, so it means we're talking all sports, but only Houston. With that being said, we're going to get into this fucking pregame show. We got the round table in the house with us tonight. Who we got in the round table with us in the mix tonight? Or today, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, it's your boy Breaking News, Burber in the building.
You got your boy Hector Flores in the mix, rocking the Jamie Sharper jersey.
Go with hold back, hold up.
Go ahead, Spitz.
Oh, I was waiting on you, okay? Your boy Spitz here, you know, with the fresh D, the 4 on, you feel me? Let's get it.
And you got your boy Wise working harder than your average national media, a.k.a. Hoodie Mello today, Hoodie Watson today. It's game time.
Already. So, let's see what we got in the mix, man. Like I said, you know how we do, man. We got a shout out to the round. We got a shout out to Sauce Nation because y'all the fresh ingredients that make the sauce so fucking fresh. I just got to apologize. Like, I'm just tired of the bullshit because if it ain't one thing, it's always the next with fucking. If it ain't the internet, it's the fucking TV. If it ain't that, it's something else. It's just I'm just livid. So let's see what we got in the sauce tonight. DeMarcus, Goss the Deuce, Quincy Jones, Jason Deuce, Malik Nelson, King 88, Jules, T Real, Jimmy T, HTX Savage, Homer, Texas Outlaws, Guru, J-Pac, Josh Cooper, Joe's House, my fault, Kellum Boys, Miss Voodoo, Tony Hernandez, Matt, David Pritchard, Brian M. Let's see, Unique Fashionista, Dylan Terrell. Let's see. Kenneth, what's the motherfucking deal? OG 77013, what's the motherfucking deal? Bro, let me see. Third Coast Wink, what's the motherfucking deal? James Harden, let me see. Make sure I'm catching it. Frank Aldeco, what's the motherfucking deal? Dominic Warner Johnson, let's see. Ashmail, what's the motherfucking deal? Blink Squad, Brian Cushion, Clutch Gaming, Texas Boy, Man Up, what's the motherfucking deal? Zach, what's the motherfucking deal? Cuda Man, Low and Slow, what's the motherfucking deal? Berkeley Boss. Again, man, so again, like I said, the juice is just I gotta apologize to y'all because I don't got the juice. That shit just, it just really killed my vibe. But let's get into it, man. I mean, fuck it. We got some interesting things that have taken place today. Got a lot of somewhat important names that I think that's going to definitely affect what we were expecting to happen, and we're just gonna have to see how it plays out. We have some injuries, some names on the inactive list today, and I think the most notably, well, a couple of very notable ones. You got Kiki, you got Duke, you got Will Fuller, and I think that this is definitely going to change the outcome of the game because we're talking about two of the speedier receivers. Kiki's been kind of in that situation for quite a while now. I don't know if that's concerning or not. Will Fuller, another season, not starting off, even with the strength conditioner and everything that came in, still a hindrance. So even that can't save him. I mean, we'll start with breaking news, Braylon, man. I just want to know your thoughts on how does this impact the Texans going into this game tonight, man? I mean, like, how does the game plan change?
So Will Fuller has had this problem for a couple weeks now, and I felt like that it was becoming more and more obvious that he wasn't going to play due to his hamstring injury, which is kind of hard to predict hamstring injury. No matter how fit or how in shape or how much you stretch, you can still mess up your hamstring. So I think they was preparing to not have either Will Fuller, or they was also prepared to not have Kiki, in the sense of that these guys have had these problems for a couple weeks in the preseason. So their game plan probably has not been changed. You still have your main option as D-Hop, which is the most important guy as a receiver. You still have your the three tight ends with Jordan Thomas, Ryan Griffin, and Jordan Atkins. I'm messing up right now, but and then you still have your main guy in the slot, Bruce Ellington. Those are the five, and then you still have your couple of your two running backs that really matter, and Alfred Blue and Lamar Miller, which they have a game plan for months against these guys. So although we lose Fuller, they still would do one-on-one matchup against D-Hop, which that is still tripping me out because they want Stephon Gilmore to guard D-Hop. D-Hop about to eat on his ass. But it's going to be a good game. All they have is that one cornerback, and I think Bruce Ellington and their safeties are getting up there in age, and I think our tight ends could do some work. Ryan Griffin did some work last year against these boys. So hopefully he can do some work again this year. And we'll see.
All right. Hector, what are your thoughts? I mean, how is this game going to be impacted by, some of the bigger names being out? Like I said, we mentioned Ejiofor, we mentioned Kuti, we mentioned Will Fuller, and, the most important name of all on that list, Kendall Lamb.
Well, I mean, for the receivers, I think kind of like what Braylon said. I mean, that's the reason why they brought in with 6 wide receivers. So I think you'll see a lot of Coates today, as well as Smith. But also don't be surprised if you see 2 tight end sets or even 3, especially with the way Akins and Griffin, the way he connects with Deshaun Watson. I think they're gonna make do with what they have, but I don't think it's like necessarily a negative thing, because I think we're actually really deep at the wide receiver position. As far as Ejiofor, we're actually pretty deep at pass rushers. So I mean, we might see Dylan Cole end up kind of coming in for that every now and then as well. So we have a variety of ways to overcome these situations. As far as Kendall Lamb, I'm sure anybody as far as depth goes will be much better. So that's all I got.
Already can't agree with that. You could pull somebody out of the fucking crowd and they could probably give you better blocking than Kendall Lamb. Wise, your thoughts on the impact of these significant names not being available, this game. And again, 2 of them being rookies. I don't know how much you want to rely on rookies in the first place, but Will Fuller missing another opening to a season. What kind of sign is this, and what kind of impact will that have on the game today?
I'm not going to panic like most Texans fans are going to panic, because Will Fuller, he could have went today if he really wanted to. The Texans are being smarter. They're worrying about the long run. I don't know if you guys watch the economy of stocks and things like that, but things go better in the long run than a short run, because in the long run, you're thinking about the end goal. You're thinking about winning a championship. So right now, just because Will Fuller is not playing week 1, that's not a big deal, because you got guys like Vincent Smith. You got guys like Bruce Ellington that can make big plays, Jordan Thomas and Jordan Atkins. Maybe Ryan Griffin can do what he did against McCourty last season. And then you got to think about Lamar Miller is more explosive this season. You got Deshaun Watson at quarterback, and Deshaun Watson can elevate the guys around him. He can elevate this offensive line, especially with his improved footwork and things like that. So I wouldn't worry too much about the Will Fuller situation. With Dookie Ejiofor being out, it can just be because of the depth at the linebacker position. This guy's a guy that made some big plays in the preseason, but maybe they want to let this guy develop a little bit more before he actually gets some game time. The same for this guy, Kendall Lamb. Kendall Lamb shouldn't even be on this roster. I'm still surprised he made the 53-man roster. So if you're not going to use him, then cut this man and bring in another talent. So those are my thoughts on this situation.
Okay. Spitz, your thoughts on that? I mean, what impact does it have with these guys being out, and what kind of adjustments to the game plan do you see Bill O'Brien and the Texans making?
I think it's going to affect how they're going to use Hop, because that's going to help Will Fuller. Like, Will Fuller to me is the biggest one, because it's going to take off some of that double coverage. And also, it hurt my fantasy team. But besides that, I think that one and the Duke one was a surprise for me. I really thought they would be healthy enough to play this week.
Duke is definitely a surprise. We were definitely looking forward to him and what he can contribute with that defense. I think we saw a lot of him in the preseason, and we liked what he brought to the table. And not really seeing him being able to go, especially against the Patriots. We know we want to have all the weapons we can, to try to send it to Tom Brady. And, that's just really unfortunate. But, again, we still have plenty of tools and plenty of veteran guys who should be able to handle that task, and so I don't think we should be too worried about the defensive side of it. It just would have been some icing on the cake, or that would have been the cherry on top of the ice, because I feel like we already got some icing on the cake as far as that goes. Before we get too far into it, I know the people want to know. We'll start with Spitz and work our way back. What is your prediction for your score prediction today? And then with that, I'm going to also drop down the predictions that I know we had got some predictions, so I'll show y'all the AFC South predictions for the round table and their lock of the week. So I want to know your thoughts, Spitz. What is the ultimate outcome? Who is the most dynamic player of this game, and what is the final score?
Most dynamic player and most important player is this one right here. And my prediction before the week started was 27-17, but I think I might temper that down to probably now to 24-17. Houston.
Okay. 24-17, kind of a touchdown game. I've seen a lot of the local Houston experts and things definitely counting us out in this one. And this was prior to, this was like middle of the week. This was before, it was definite that, Fuller and some of these guys were out. It's sad that, even our own hometown, quote unquote, reporters and whatever else you want to call them, don't have faith in the Texans even when fully healthy, or when presumed to be fully healthy. But it is what it is. Hoodie Wise, what are your thoughts on the Texans' prediction, and who is going to be the player of the game?
Well, my original prediction was 35-17 Texans, but since we're missing Will Fuller, and that has an impact on the offense, a little bit of an impact, I'm going to drop that number down to 28-17, and the Texans are going to win this game, and they're going to be talking about how Tom Brady's career is over tomorrow on the national media. My biggest impact player for this game is going to be Tyrann Mathieu. He's going to make a lot of plays in the secondary and lock down this guy, Rob Gronkowski.
Definitely. Rob is going to be an interesting guy to watch today to see what he's able to execute, what he's able to pull off. And again, like I said, I definitely have a lot of faith in that Texans defense, regardless of who's out there. They're still going to be a threat, even if we are missing some key names. I still feel like Cornell puts guys in a position to be effective, and so that's going to be something to watch out for, especially against an old ass decrepit Brady. Hector, your thoughts on this score prediction, especially with the guys that we know are officially inactive, and who is going to be player of the game today?
I'm gonna stick with what the original score I thought it was, and I think it's gonna be 27-21 in favor for the Texans. The player to watch is going to be Whitney Merciless. I think he's gonna be the main person that's gonna get a lot of the benefits of having J.J. Watt and Clowney and just this pass rush in total. I think he's always underestimated, and he always gets his time to shine. So I say Whitney Merciless is going to be the big player to watch.
Merciless throughout the week has definitely looked hungry. Merciless has, been tweeting and been posting some things, and so I'm looking forward to see what he's going to do today, because we've seen Whitney have some success against the Patriots. He's able to get pressure on Brady along with Clowney. I'd like to see Watt kind of get him a sack on Brady, before Brady's career is over with, because this might be the last season for him if the Texans get to have their way like we anticipate. So Watt needs to go ahead and do that if he is a Watt that everybody's saying that he is. Again, I'd like to see that happen. Braylon, I'd like to know your thoughts on the score prediction, or your score prediction, and who's going to be player of the game, especially noticing, with the guys that are going to be out today.
I'm going to go with 31-21 as the final score prediction. That's based on our pass rush compared to their offensive line. Their offensive line is in worse shape than ours. Their tackles right now is shaky. They lost Cameron Fleming. They lost Nate Soldier, so they have 2 new guys there this year. Granted, Trent Brown has looked pretty good. I don't know what pretty good means. But a player to watch, and I'm gonna say 2 players because they're going to be guarding 1 player. Kareem Jackson and Tyrann Mathieu. Those 2 guys do against Rob Gronkowski will have the biggest impact on this game. I know that's been said a couple times on some national media guys, but to be truthful, they are telling the truth. Rob Gronkowski is the only weapon that they can rely on. So if Kareem Jackson and Tyrann can stop those 2 can stop him together, then we are going to dominate this game. The score might even be worse. The score might even be bigger of a difference than what I'm saying right now.
Yeah, I definitely hope, like I said, there are going to be some very essential guys to watch, and I think Mathieu get a chance to come back and show that he still has the Badger within. It's going to be integral to the Texans seeing some success this year, because again, you put him in that same situation that Corey Moore was in, or I feel like even with Kareem Jackson back there, you switch any of those guys out now, and you see a similar situation to last year. We're talking about a different game. I'm gonna go a little closer myself. I'm thinking along the lines of probably like 28-24 Texans. We gotta see the end zone. We can't be settling for field goals. 1, because I don't know how confident I am in Fairbairn. I don't know how healthy he is, coming back off that injury. 2, like I say, man, it's just the juice. I'm lacking the juice, y'all. But 2 is because you have to make a statement, and that statement is that we're not going to settle for half-ass points. We're not going to settle for, kicks. We want all the points. We want all the smoke. And again, you have to apply that kind of pressure on Brady, and then when it gets late in the game, you're going to have to make him air it out. And in a situation where you make him air it out, that means the Texans can, be full speed go. That our pass rushers can execute. They can do what they do best, and that is get to the passer. So if you put him in a situation where he has to pass late in the game, I think that actually works out in our favor. Even though he may be what some people may call the greatest quarterback, or this is a different breed of NFL. I think in a different league, in a different day and age, Brady might not thrive as well. He cries a lot. He's a little bitch, but so. Another thing that we have to think about, though, as we're looking into this game, we're looking around the league, we're looking at some of these injuries. And I kind of want to focus, even though we mentioned it briefly, I kind of want to focus on Will for a second, man. Is this something that we're going to have to worry about? Do we settle for a part-time player? I mean, is this just a temporary thing? Is this just because we've seen Will each year, every year it's little injuries keeping him out. He buffed up in the off season. He worked out. He was running dunes. He was doing this. He was doing that. But yet again, another season starting off with a hamstring injury. They brought in the strength guy, and it seems like we were talking about we're healthy, and then it gets down to the season, a little lingering injuries. Is this something that we really need? I mean, is Will Fuller, because this is, I think, a boomer bust type season, because I know we got people on both sides of the fence. You got people like, yeah, he's good when he's available, but he can't stay healthy. And then you have people, well, he's good. He's just, the health has just been, it's just been, kind of unlucky. I need to know what you think. We'll start off with Braylon. With Will Fuller, what do we have to be concerned most with this guy? Is this something that we have to look forward to as Texans fan? Our number 2 being hurt most of the season or half of the season?
So in the past years, his injuries have been like bone and stuff related. So he buffed up and got muscle to protect those bones and stuff from those falls when he was doing some stupid falls. I don't know, broke his collarbone, had ankle problems and stuff. The hamstring is the most to me is the most unpredictable injury. No matter how much you stretch, no matter how much you prepare your body, you cut, you run, you get tackled, your leg get pulled the wrong way, and your excuse me, and your hamstring. Then your hamstring, it's the most predictable because hamstring you can't really have surgery on the hamstring. You just have to let it heal. And granted, he had a pretty healthy season his first year, but he really wasn't that good of a receiver because he was dropping so many balls, or he was fumbling trying to catch them, and then would get the big hit. Last year, a couple of his injuries, I'm blaming Tom Savage. Tom Savage threw him in the fire too many damn times, or Brown, or TJ Yates at times, but when Watson is giving him the ball, he's been considerably healthy. He's always been healthy with Watson giving him the ball. It was never no chance of him possibly being injured at times, or even just a little tweak. It was nothing like that because Watson would give him the ball wide open and with nobody in his way. And then in the case of the injury, he could brace some stuff where he can fall correctly. So yeah.
Hector, your thoughts on Fuller, man? Is this a long-term problem, or has he just had a rash of just unfortunate injuries?
I think it's just been a rash of unfortunate injuries. I don't know what else to think about. I mean, like it's kind of crazy to see like all these injuries that's happened to him. But hopefully with this new athletic training staff, they can get him back to where we want him to be, and maybe see a better Will Fuller. I mean, we see the potential he has with Deshaun Watson. It's just a matter of just hoping that he finally gets fully healthy, and then being what we all hope that he would be.
Okay. Well, like I said, yeah, the guy has ultimate. He has a lot of potential. He's a guy that can be a star in this league, if he can stay healthy. And we've seen it. We've seen the connection between him and Watson and what's possible. But again, like I say, that concerns me, if he cannot stay healthy, even with putting on the additional muscle. Hoodie Wise, man, your thoughts on Will Fuller and, what's this situation? Is it just a string of bad luck, or is this guy injury prone?
I mean, I believe it's just bad luck because, this guy didn't really have injuries when he was in college. A hamstring can happen to any one of us. We can go to the gym, get on the treadmill, or we can go outside and we can go run, and we can easily pull a hamstring, especially if you're not stretching properly. So, a hamstring injury is something you can't be too worried about. Kiki QT had pulled his hamstring after the first week in training camp, and this guy's still dealing with his. So you got to think about how hamstrings linger. We've seen it happen to CP3 as well. Hamstrings is something you can't play with. You don't want to hyperextend those muscles, and you don't want that injury to linger all season, and you don't want this guy to miss the rest of the season and pull up, because this is a guy that can have a big impact on our offense. This guy opens up the underneath route, like I said in my live stream earlier. He takes away his corner. He takes away his the safety over the top. That opens up Bruce Ellington underneath, and that opens up a guy like DeAndre Hopkins to run the slot as well. So this guy, Will Fuller, has a big impact. He still can have a 1,000-yard season, even though he misses this game. And I want to say that you can expect to see a lot more from Vincent Smith, and potentially you might see Joe Webb at receiver this game.
That's a very interesting thought. Joe Webb playing a little bit of receiver, and again, being a quarterback, he should know the routes. He should know what Deshaun Watson would expect. So that would be interesting. I wonder if they've had any chances to play. I had a couple of texts on the sauce line. Then we go get the spits. I want to address these before I forget. Shout out to the round table, Honcho, Wink Wise, Breaking News, Bray, Hector, Tenny Spits. Shout out to Chandler, always holding down the sauce, and then. I appreciate. Shout out to Ashbel, man. I appreciate that. That's live at 5, man. That's what's happening. That put the smile on the face. That's what I needed to see, because
it should put the smile on your face. We have 108 people, but your smile gonna turn right back to a frown because we only got 46 likes. What is wrong with y'all? It's 47. Week one of the NFL season. Why we only got 46 likes? Come on,
you need 100%. You need 100% of a chance for the Texans to win. So 100 likes was 100% chance we win. Come on.
Look, y'all want the Texans win. Y'all got to do is make some minimal effort and hit the like button. I wasn't even thinking about that.
100 likes will get you 100,000 sauce.
I wasn't even thinking about the numbers. I'm telling you, my mind has just been in another little. I'm mad. Like I want to go punch a Comcast employee. Just hit him with a tiger uppercut right now. Just Hadouken. But Spitz, man, your thoughts on the Will Fuller situation, man? Is he injury prone, or is this something that we have to look forward to as Texans fans, or is this, like I say, it's just kind of an unlucky situation?
I mean, it's concerning that he's missed time every year since he's been drafted. But I think, to be honest, I think that his hamstring is really not as serious as they hold him out. I'm thinking that because Bill O'Brien was here towards the end of Arian Foster. He coached Arian Foster for one full season. And then that last season, Arian Foster missed time because of his hamstring. And, that was a lingering thing when it came to Foster. I don't think he wants that same situation with Will Fuller, knowing how important Will Fuller is to helping this offense of being that deep threat downfield and taking off the double coverage and stuff like that. And I know it's the Patriots. I know it's week one. But in retrospect, this game is not – it's important, but it's not as important as the main stretch down the season. Because when you really need Will Fuller is November, December, January into the playoffs. Not a week one game.
Man, I got a couple other good questions on it, and you're right. We need him when it counts, but so again, I could agree with that. Hey, let him get healed up. It's still early in the season. A lot of decisions have to be made. A lot of things can play out a lot of different ways. I'm gonna read a couple of texts from the Sauce line, man. One of them says, from DeMarcus says, "What do you think about Braxton signing with the Eagles?" It don't mean nothing to me, man. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I want to see Braxton have a chance to shine somewhere. I want to see him, do well and succeed. But I think it was interesting because he had a look with the Cardinals prior to that, and that didn't pan out. So obviously there was something that they didn't see something that they liked in that. So again, like I said, I want him to find a place. I want to have, because to me it felt like he was developing, like he was trying to come into his own as a receiver. But, you don't want to go down the same routes of Pryor's been all right, I guess, has had a sustainable career. But you just kind of have to look at it and see what happens, I guess, in the long term. But it's good for him. Spitz, you got any thoughts on that?
What were you saying again? Oh, about the Braxton sign with the Eagles. I'm actually glad he got a job, but I don't know how much he'll help a team because I just don't think that he's built to be a receiver. I don't think he's mentally prepared to be a receiver. I think it's more mental than physical because he has the physical attributes. He has the athleticism. He can actually catch. I think it's mental with him. And I think maybe in his mind he still wants to be a QB and he can't get over the fact that he had to switch due to his arm strength. So I think mentally that's what's holding him. I think he has a huge mental block.
Interesting. Sure. I never thought about the mental aspect of it. I always thought about, mentally, getting down routes and things like that and adjusting to the NFL. But I never thought about it, with him just not getting over the glory of the QB position and maybe still thinking what could have been, but what ain't going to be. Wise, your thoughts on Braxton getting a shot with the Eagles? How do you feel about that?
I'm proud for him. I want to see this man excel. I never want to see a man not succeed, don't get his money. At least he's on a roster. A lot of guys don't make it to the NFL, so that's an accomplishment for the start. He is on a practice squad, so if somebody does go down with an injury on that Eagles team, that is a benefit for him. He's going to the reigning Super Bowl champs. Maybe he might get a good look with Carson Wentz. He might get some opportunities out there. So I want to see this man excel. Like Spitz said, this guy does have a mental aspect at it, and he just, I mean, he has the attributes, he has the capabilities, but he just can't put it all together, and that's what's impacting his career. And like what you said with Terrell Pryor, I hope I don't see him get punked like Terrell Pryor did, because that would be a terrible situation. Then I'll have to stop watching Braxton Miller if that happened.
Man, if that happens, I'm going to disavow any knowledge of any existence on this Texans team from a Braxton Miller. I'm going to go back and I'm going to find any positive statement I ever said on the sauce, which were few and far in between now, although, about Braxton, to make sure I delete those videos so nobody come back, oh, you said Braxton was this. Hey, boy get punked like that, hey, that's a career ender, man. Like, I couldn't – that's, to me, I don't know. I don't know what's worse if you, as a teammate, if you're looking at a guy who got punked like Terrell Pryor, or a teammate who's talking shit like Le'Veon's teammates. I don't know which kind of teammate is worse. You know, like shit. At least the dude's talking shit, standing up for something. The old buddy's just getting punked. I mean, you damn. I don't know. But Hector, your thoughts on Braxton getting a shot with the Eagles, man? How do you feel about that?
I mean, wait, was it with the Eagles or was it with the practice squad? The thing is with me about that, I mean, just it's good to see that someone wants him. I don't know what happened with the Arizona Cardinals, but the Eagles see something in him, and I mean, kind of going back to he's just trying to earn his spot back. You could tell he's really trying, especially when you saw during the preseason and practices that he was putting his best effort in there. Stayed very zoned in to try to perfect his craft, but unfortunately, just wasn't able to stay with the Texans. But hopefully, something works out with Philadelphia.
B&B, your thoughts on Braxton and the chance to get a chance with the Eagles?
The Eagles last year picked up a former QB turned into receiver who was a quarterback in college. Greg Ward Jr. from University of Houston. He's on that practice squad. And I think they are seeing that he's progressing, and I think that they believe that they can make Braxton Miller better than what Greg Ward is at this moment. Greg Ward is still on the practice squad. But it's hard to I'm hyped right now, guys. I'm trying to stay a bit calm. But it's hard to get over that mental aspect of thinking I was one of the best quarterbacks in college. I was the quarterback of Ohio State the year that Ohio State was going to make the championship. I was the guy until I messed up my shoulder, or my shoulder got messed up. And I think, once again, that mental aspect, hopefully he can get over that mental aspect. But it's just waiting out and seeing what he's going to do.
It's very interesting that you put it like that, because we were talking about it being a quarterback. I wonder if he has thoughts in his mind that he feels like he could have been what Deshaun Watson is, because he was the man at one point in time in college. I wonder if those kind of thoughts go through his head. I mean, I wonder if that's part of that mental aspect. We got a very interesting question from Jay Dizzle. Jay Dizzle says, and what we're going to do, we won't have the sauce line open for calls today, in the pregame show. The postgame show, no matter what the response is, good or bad, we will have the sauce line open. We will have them open early, so that make sure that y'all are ready to spill your sauce after the game. We'll run through these, and because I got a couple of things I wanted to address too. And shout out to U of H, man, for whooping that ass yesterday. Next we finna wreck Tech, but it says, did you see the story in which the Patriots had did you see the story in Patriots had Gronkowski on the trading block? He had a deal with a team, but Gronk said he would rather retire than be traded. Do you think it could have been us, and that's why we haven't gotten the Clowney deal done? Kind of fits. And also says, do we have the personnel to play bump and run to try to eliminate quick pass from Brady to allow more time for the pass rush to get home? And I think that's very interesting. with the Gronkowski thing, because if Gronkowski would rather retire than play anywhere else, I wonder a couple of things. Does that, because you see guys go to New England and elevate their talent level by playing with Tom Brady. Is that really saying something about Gronkowski? Maybe he's not as good as we think he is, that he couldn't succeed with another quarterback outside of Tom Brady? I'm curious about that. And then also I want to look. We got Kevin Johnson, the GOAT, man, and so I mean we can play with anybody. Now I don't know. I really don't know if we have that ability, because we got guys. Once they get beat, it's bad business. But again, right now I don't feel like the Patriots have their full personnel, so I don't see why we wouldn't be able to. I mean, it's kind of a 50-50. That's something I have to think about for a second. I'll let the roundtable spill their thoughts on that. I'll come back to that bump and run question. But where we ended with Braylon last time, and then so we'll get Braylon's thoughts. The Gronkowski situation, want to retire instead of get traded, and then do we have the talent to bump and run?
Well, I think Gronkowski wanting to be retired is one, his injuries and all that problems he's had, and two, he not sure if he's going to be traded to a team that to a quarterback that won't be able to get him the ball. Granted, Rob Gronkowski isn't really great at everything. He's good at things. It's just that he's a physical specimen, meaning that no matter how bad he does at times, he still stands out because he's 6'7" and 245 pounds, and is able to jump like LeBron James is jumping from the free throw. It's that reason. And then the second question was again, I got caught up in the Rob Gronkowski question. Oh, okay. I've seen this with the Texans by the two starting outside corners, Jonathan Joseph and Kevin Johnson. Those are the two outside starters today. And I've seen them be their best when they, got physical at times. Jonathan Joseph knows that he doesn't have the speed anymore, and he can't really be that physical. But when he's able to be physical and stay in front of the receiver, and the receiver not get behind him, then it's pretty much over. It's pretty much over because Jonathan Joseph still knows how to make the receiver do what Jonathan Joseph wants the receiver to do. Kevin Johnson, he did get beat in the preseason game by Godwin, but Godwin is one of the fastest receivers in the league. Man, got some speed on him. But I've seen Kevin Johnson be physical with A.J. Green. He was able to stop A.J. Green. And hopefully he can stop Chris Hogan. I stop whoever, because I don't know who the receivers are for the Patriots. That's how bad they receive it right now. Okay. Cordell Patterson is one guy that may probably we might have a little issue with because of his speed and him being on the Patriots, and his play has been elevated. But that's all I got right now.
Hector, your thoughts on the Gronkowski situation? Do you think that, they said that they had a trade deal on the block. Do you think that the Texans was possibly a team that he would have been traded to? And, how do you feel about that overall statement about that he'd rather retire than get traded?
Well, I really don't know what necessarily we would have to offer to get Gronk, even though I'm sure that we've seen, Bill Belichick give up players for lesser things. But I don't know. I think a lot of the Patriots players, they seem to be a lot of system players. So to me, the only one that I could think of that actually has panned out since leaving the Patriots was LeGarrette Blount, and that's just because he's a power back. And honestly, it was more Jay Ajayi, if anything, from last year with the Philadelphia Eagles. But I really wouldn't care too much about having Gronk. Gronk is just a really big guy who's, athletic, but he's also injury prone. So, I'm kind of glad that we did end up not having to have that ordeal. And then for the whole, being physical, obviously you can't play zone against Tom Brady. We've seen that many times. You're going to have to be physical. You have to do a straight man defense. And I think that K-Joe is definitely more of a physical type corner, and that's definitely going to be his best way to win. And I kind of agree with Braylon with the whole, we might have to look at Cordell Patterson as someone that could come up big from this game.
All right. I mean, yeah, Cordell Patterson is definitely a guy you're going to take a look at. I think being able to go up against a guy like Hop in practice, they're ready for anything that Cordell Patterson can bring them. I know a lot of people were, when he was drafted, were telling he would be a better receiver than Hopkins. He's just raw, and he hasn't really developed into that. But it is what it is. Again, Brady makes guys look a lot better than they really are, so that's just something you have to take into consideration. Wise, your thoughts on the Gronkowski situation? And then, are the Texans suitable enough to play bump and run to allow the pass rushers to put more pressure on Brady?
Well, with Gronkowski, this guy, he's made enough money in his career. He hasn't spent any of his salary money. I mean, his salary, basically. His contract money. He only spent his endorsement money. So this guy's been saving up. He's been planning for retirement for some years now. Also, this guy Gronkowski is injury prone, like Hector said. So I wouldn't want to give up too much assets for a guy that's always injured, especially with season-ending injuries. It's been multiple times where the Patriots have won a Super Bowl without Rob Gronkowski, and this guy's been on a bench in a Super Bowl at the biggest time, at the biggest moments. So I'm glad we steered away from that trade. If it was us, it could have been a team like the Browns. It could have been a team like the Tampa Bay. We don't know. Even with rumors, you don't even know if these rumors are true because national media likes to make up some rumors just to get clickbait. So that's one thing I wanted to say. Also, we're going to have to play some man coverage. We're going to have to get physical. Kevin Johnson is a guy that can get physical. He's a hard hitter. A lot of people do sleep on Kevin Johnson. I think he's going to have an interception this game. Another guy I want to shout out tonight is the safety Justin Reed. He will be making his debut for the Texans, and I think this guy will have an impact on tonight's game as well. So with Romeo Crennel taking over this defense again, you can see a lot of packages where you see Honey Badger coming off the edge, and you can see special blitz packages, and you can see guys like Davion Clowney drop back coverage, make big plays and things like that.
I'm actually glad that you made that statement about K-Joe, because we all know K-Joe is the GOAT, even though Spitz is not going to agree. K-Joe is probably going to go down in history as the greatest of all time. But he's just warming his career up. It's like, when it's a cold day out there, you kind of got to get the engine started, let it warm up a little bit. He's just warming up on y'all. But nah, bullshit to the side though. Y'all know how we do this, and it's been a minute. We got to get back into the groove of the regular season. As I hollered Spitz on this question, I want you in the chat. I want to know, hey, it's time for the mark my motherfucking words. I want to know y'all's predictions. I want to know y'all's score predictions, and I will be taking note of as many as I can. We in here a little deep today, so if I can't catch everybody, forgive me. But I want to know your mark my motherfucking. And mark my motherfucking words means you have to make a bold prediction. It can't just be like Clowney's gonna have a tackle. It's got to be some shit like I saw somebody say Clowney's going to have a strip sack and, return to the house or something like that. It has to be a bold prediction, a particular player, a particular event, something like that. And then also, drop y'all score predictions, and I'll try to take note of those best I can while we get the answer from Spitz about, the Gronkowski situation. Do you think it was possible that the Texans were going to be involved in that trade? And, do the Texans have the personnel to play with the receivers, to bump and run the receivers that the Patriots will be bringing out today?
If it was pre-draft, it was highly possible that it was the Texans, because we know how hoodwinked and how infatuated these guys are with Patriot players. It's him being a former Patriots offensive coach, and him having a lot of former Patriots on the staff, former Patriot coaches, and former Patriot players. So it's highly possible that we were one of those teams that was in the market. I don't think Gronk would turn down the Texans because of Deshaun. I think he knows he had a quarterback who could give him the ball. So I don't think that is the reason why he turned the Texans down. He probably just turned down being traded in general, and it's a good thing because I don't want Gronk on this team. I'm not like Ramsey saying that Gronk is not good. I think Gronk is probably going to go down as one of the best Titans of all time, but he's too injury prone, and he's not reliable in certain situations. He's not reliable when you need him, when you count on him. and to play press. We ain't got the secondary. I don't even know why y'all asked me that kind of question. Like, cause you already know how I feel about your favorite player. He might be the goat, right? Like the lowercase goat, the goat of the game, and be like, yeah, that's the reason why you lost. Like he's the scapegoat. You right about that. He the scapegoat. I'll give him that. He is the scapegoat. But like, no, I don't think that we have the corners to play it tight. I'm like I say, I know a lot of people talk about the offensive line. I know Nick Wright said that the Texans have the worst offensive line in the NFL. I don't think it's that bad, but I do think those corners are very, very concerning. They're not going to look like it early on because we don't play a lot of pass happy teams with a lot of pass happy teams this year. But you will see in key situations, these corners are going to let y'all down. Like I don't trust these corners at all. I hope I'm wrong. Trust me. I hope I'm eating all type of crow and that Kevin Johnson is an all pro, but I just don't see it.
I'm so mad. I ain't even looked at my motherfucking my fantasy today. I'm mad. I'm still mad about it. I was in a good mood for a second, but I started thinking about it. I got mad again. Spitz put me in a bad mood, talking bad about my boy, man. You know what I'm saying? It put me back in a somber mood. You know, we know Kevin Johnson's gonna be the GOAT and not the scapegoat. But here's the deal. So I see some good predictions. I'm trying to catch them as I can, you know. But my thing is this: with some of these guys being out, notably receivers, what kind of role is Coach going to play today? You know, I'll kind of throw that one up. You know, we'll get one more question and then we'll get ready to wind it down so that we can all get prepared for game time. And I got to figure out how the fuck I'm gonna watch this shit. But I thought this one up for the round table. What kind of role? How important will Sammy Coates be in today's game? Appreciate that.
I think with both Kiki and Will Fuller not play, I think he's going to get a lot of action. I don't know how important he's going to be, but I think he's going to definitely get a lot of looks, and he's going to get a shot. But basically, what I'm saying, he's going to get a shot to do something. I mean, he might be this is Bruce Ellington when we have somebody that we got that came out of nowhere to be slightly productive. I'm not saying that he's about to be 100 yards. 500-yard season, 8 touchdowns, but he might be pretty productive enough to continue to keep a job.
Yeah, I expect you can see Sammy Coates making a couple of plays. He made a couple of plays in the preseason. And you got to think about a guy like Deshaun Watson. He elevates the receivers. He makes them look better. We've seen his accuracy was improved. He's going to put the ball in the guy's hands. You're never going to see an inaccurate pass from Deshaun Watson today because this guy has improved. This guy has the great footwork and things like that. So Sammy Coates should get a good look. Also, we got to remember that Vincent Smith did come up with a big catch in the preseason. So this guy can probably make a couple catches today. Don't be surprised about that. But I'm not going to say, like Spitz said, I ain't going to say Vincent Smith just going to have like 10 catches and 70 yards and things like that. But this guy's going to make a couple catches. So look out for guys like this. Also, we're disguising a look for the Patriots, maybe in the AFC Championship, so they won't see Kiki, QT, and Wolford. And it'll be a more dynamic offense by then.
I said it already way before that Sammy Coates would be this year's Bruce Ellington. That was one of my mark my words, and I think today he will solidify my statement. Because honestly, there's one that Texans haven't had in a while, and that is a big body wide receiver. This guy is a red zone threat. He just adds more options besides Jordan Akins. So honestly, I think this is going to be Sammy Coates. You know, from people that were hardly not really knowing who Sammy Coates is, they're about to know who he is today.
He pulled that bird, man. I done it already.
Sammy Coates will have a Sammy Coates will be the 4th receiver out on the field. I think. Well, actually, no. Maybe I'm tripping. I think Sammy Coates may start. I think he may start. Just the fact that Will Fuller's not there and they need another receiver that can play outside, and Bruce Ellington is clearly the inside receiver. I mean, the slot receiver. So, I think Sammy Coates will start. Other guys like Vincent Smith and And I'm tripping. Okay. Look at it now. I think maybe we should have kept Braxton up. Just maybe gave him just another couple of games. Because looking at it, we don't know if, just saying, we don't know how long Will Fuller's out with the hamstring injury. Just saying. But Sammy Coles, Vincent Smith, those are two guys in receiving that may stand out. I'm kind of thrilled because they starting to show the game and stuff.
Well, here's the deal. We'll get ready to start winding it down. But before that, what we need to do is I need y'all to slide by StaySaucy.com, check out some of their fresh Sauce Sports merch. You know what I'm saying? Support the sauce. I appreciate the love for everybody who has been copping some of that fresh merchandise. And if you check the description below, you may have to refresh it. I want to shout out to Robbie G. He has some items, some exclusive and some signed NFL merchandise, and also some Texans merchandise. So if you're an NFL fan, you're a Texans fan, and you want to check that out, the link should be in the description below. You may have to refresh it. I just had to update it because I was running late and I didn't get a chance to put it in there. But he has a video with everything that he has on the market. So if you want to get you some of that, check that out. He would be doing a great service to a good friend of the sauce. We'll be here immediately after the game, which I'll probably be having to watch on the stream, so I may be a few minutes late. I'll try to be ahead of the game, but we'll figure it all out. For the post-game show, man, and so like I say, Sauce Line will be open. Everybody, I hope y'all will be ready for that because like I say, it's going to be cracking. It's going to be jumping, so make sure you have your thoughts. Make sure you're ready to, to text in, to call in. We're going to go as live as we need to go until the end, you know what I'm saying? So I want to shout out to the round table, shout out to B&B, shout out to Hector, shout out to Hoodie Wise, you know what I'm saying? He ready. I mean, when you see Hoodie Wise, you know he ready. Shout out to Spitz, you know what I'm saying? And I appreciate everybody for coming through, holding it down, man. Y'all got anything y'all want to say real quick before we get up out of here?
Mark my words, the defense will have 2 turnovers.
Okay.
Shout out to everybody in the stream. Y'all make sure y'all support the Texans in this.
Mark my words, White, Clowney, Merciless, and combined for 10 sacks. We'll surpass Saxonville last year.
Mark my words, Houston's about to own Boston tonight.
Yes, sir. All the beans.
You got the Astros kicking Boston's ass, and the Texans are about to do it too.
Already.
Mark my words, after the day, there's not going to be a question. D-Hop, the best receiver in the league.
Okay. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I want to hear. Already, man. So that's the BET, and I agree, man. We finna beat the brakes off Boston ass from the MLB to the NFL, man. Sauce Nation, y'all the freshest motherfucking ingredients in the world. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Like I said, we'll be back here immediately after the game. Shout out to everybody who's been holding down the sauce. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. We're going to chuck up the deuce. Y'all be cool like y'all be cool. Let's get it. Let's go Texans. And we out. Y'all stay saucy.